And you're just in time for Richard Mwenja Exclusive, your only point of call on matters political and governance analysis in Kenya and across the region. I'm Richard Mwenja. Welcome to the conversation. I have your favorite think tank, Professor Herman Manyora, with me to unpack the day's conversation. Prof, you're doing well?
Very well, and I thank God.
The year is almost coming to an end.
Correct.
We've achieved quite much here.
Very well.
You give
thank
thanks?
God. We thank God. We thank our subscribers, our viewers, our followers. We wish them the very best. Wish them the very best during this season of festivities and God's tidings.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed, Prof. Prof, I want us to have a conversation around the president's role as a father figure in this country. He has the mandate to sort of inspire a sense of hope within Kenyans that tomorrow is going to be better than today. But we're at a time whereby people believe that much that comes from him is nothing short of false hope. How do you see this from your end? Is there an ounce of truth behind those claims?
Which claims?
That the president, with regards to making sure Kenyans can attain an easier standard of living and one which is a bit luxurious, that now it is far-fetched. But the president keeps insisting that I'm going to do the right thing so that you guys can have a better life. Do you think he's really making the strides towards achieving this?
Well, people think the president is not doing enough. There are those who believe he's doing nothing. But since the country is still moving, we are still a normal country with normal things happening. You cannot say the president is doing nothing. You can only say things could be better.
Things could be better.
You could also be right when you say things are tough. And you could also be right if you say the president doesn't seem to be interested in making things better for the people of this country. Yeah. On the contrary, he seems hell-bent on making Kenyans feel some pain, which he says is necessary before they gain. Let us feel the pain now, we gain tomorrow. That's the president's own words. They are not my words.
We need to go through the trenches first.
Yes.
Before we get to Canaan.
Yes.
But then again,
remember, there are crocodiles and everything else as you head to Canaan. That's what the president is saying. But now he's with Mr. Canaan himself. Yeah.
The honor of the promised land.
Yeah, the honor of the promised land and the River Jordan with the crocodiles and everything.
But the danger with this strategy is that you can be consumed.
Remember, if you want fish, fish shares the same habitat with the crocodiles. Yes, continue.
So chance is we can make it to the other end of the broad safely, but also midway we can be consumed.
Yeah, it's possible you can perish in pursuit of that which is good, of the milk and honey. And indeed, many Israelites died in the wilderness and in the desert and in the mountains. Not all who left Egypt go to Canaan. Yeah.
But then again, we are at a time whereby the president is calling for Kenyans to grant him the grace of time for him to realize that which he promised in his campaign agenda manifesto. But then again, just how much time does the president need? We are looking at his first term now getting to the halfway mark. Just how much more time should we grant him?
Yeah, again, Kenyans are justified to address themselves on this issue of time for the president. How much more time he needs, because he talked of the moment I put the Bible down, which is immediately. And the first thing he did was to come hard on Kenyans by the way of a number of pronouncements and policies. Then he asked for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then they said, no, okay.
So much was to be done in under 6 months, by the way.
Even 100 days, the proverbial 100 days, they became 6 months. In 6 months, in 3 months, 6 months, then 1 year, now 2 years. So I would understand if Kenyans begin to doubt this idea of the time the president is asking for. But since we have not much choice in the matter, we will give him the time. Yeah.
There is a section of Kenyans who believe that, yes, you are opposing the government, you are criticizing the government of the day, but you are offering zero alternatives or solutions to that regard. Do you believe that there is some sense of truth in that?
No. There's zero truth. People, we know our problems, and the suggestions are everywhere, written on every building, on every wall. Every wall in State House has a writing of what Kenyans want. Every wall of Harambee House, Office of the President, has a writing about the Kenyans' problems on one side, on the left, the solutions on the right. So it's not true that people are not offering solutions. The solutions are there.
So when Junaid Mohammed says you're opposing everything, but you're offering zero solutions.
No, that's who's saying that?
Junaid Mohammed the other day. Junaid Mohammed.
Junaid Mohammed.
Yeah.
Junaid Mohammed is just a joker. He knows he's joking.
Stop opposing everything.
He's not serious. He knows, even he himself. I think I should look for him. He knows it's not true. The people are saying this is too much. When people say taxation too much, inbuilt in that statement, don't you have the answer that you must lower the taxes?
So for people like Junaid,
if people say the government has employed people you can only term as useless, is then the answer found in the same statement? In other words, why don't you employ better people? If people say there's so much tribalism in appointments in this government, is then the answer to be found, the suggestion, the solutions in the same statement? That next time you make appointments, let them be less tribal. And can you remove a few people who are giving Kenya a bad name, who are giving the president a bad name in terms of ethnicity and in terms of where they come from? So what is it Kenyans have not said? Everything people say, there is an answer. Yeah.
Prof, one of the biggest threats in our economy right now is the high levels of unemployment in Kenya. We're having a conversation about the need for Kenyans to be more hopeful that tomorrow is going to be better than today. And the surest way to earn them some sense of hope is giving them a job, sustainable jobs at it. But when you look at the government's efforts towards realizing the same, are you convinced that they are putting their best foot forward?
There's no effort from government to create jobs. On the contrary, there's every effort from government to kill jobs. And the evidence is everywhere.
Why do you say so?
Since this government came to power, what has been the cost of electricity like throughout their stay in the last 2.5 years? Electricity has been going up every day, is that right? Are you not killing jobs? Making diesel more expensive, are you not killing jobs? The drivers of the economy, of production, that then creates jobs, is energy. Energy number one, energy number two, energy number three. Other things are number 4, 5. Energy is the driver. So if this government is making electricity go up every passing day, the first thing they did was to add VAT of 8%. We had a compromise 8% instead of 16. When this government came in, they made it 16. You are doing everything in your power to make it difficult for production to go on in this country. And that you are killing jobs.
But on the flip side, Kenya is exporting jobs now. You've seen CS Alfred Mutua flagging off.
Those are not jobs. First of all, if you have 3 million people, for example, jobless, and you are giving 300 people a job, do you have a brain in your head? That skull is empty. And if there's anything there, it's porridge, not a brain.
That's the best.
An economy that needs to create 1 million jobs, 500,000 jobs, really jobs. Not these imaginary jobs of statistics, really jobs which Kenyans can see. A country cannot celebrate 200 miserable jobs. And to the Middle East, where Kenyans work under slave conditions. That's not something you can even talk about, let alone celebrate. It's supposed to be done under the table.
ACS should not be there to flag off a batch of Kenyans going abroad?
It is a pity that we have such a people as cabinet secretaries. It's a pity.
Finally, Prof, while on this conversation, we are seeing Kenyans, some of them, turn into divine intervention because they believe we are looking for hope from the government. It's not coming our way. Let's turn to the churches. Let's turn to prayer, to the mosques. What danger lies
God,
in Kenyans just touching?
Whether you are a Muslim or a Christian, God does not like stupidity. God does not condone laziness. Because even in the Bible, in Genesis, man is told he will toil, and by the sweat of his brow he shall eat. That's God, not me. If you are a Christian, even a Muslim, God does not condone stupidity. God does not condone laziness. So you cannot sit somewhere and say, oh, God provided manna from heaven because of the condition the condition of the time, the conditions under which the Israelites were living as they were sojourning from Egypt to Canaan. The conditions were such that God had to step in and provide food, manna, and quails.
So bringing
those conditions are not there. Rainfall is here, soils are fertile. You go and kneel and tell God, sisi tu tulete chakula kwa meza. God can slap you if he came around.
Bringing in televangelists to talk to Kenyans.
How?
To give them a sense
Those
of hope.
people should be canned.
On a state budget.
They should be canned. Wachapwe kipoko. God cannot like that. In fact, through theology, I'm not a person of theology, but true theology must be liberating theology.
Liberating is the word.
Yes. Liberate people to think, liberate their minds, open up their minds. Theology must teach people to fend for themselves. We must create heaven down here before we go to the heaven up. That's true theology. A true shepherd, a priest, must make the people, the congregants, the people of his parish, improve their lives, livelihoods. And you see the Catholics doing that. Provide health care by putting up hospitals and dispensaries and clinics. Provide schools so that the children of the parishioners can get some education to live meaningful life down here. Organize women in women guilds. Have you seen them? The women guild movement.
Yeah, true.
To empower themselves economically. That is true theology. So anybody who brings some televangelist here to tell people things will come from heaven, they should be canned.
So for anyone who is calling, who says that probably even our leadership in Kenya needs divine intervention, you won't credit such a person with deeper thinking.
No. They don't need, nobody needs divine intervention. We just say it as a manner of speaking. But what we are trying to say is that they will have failed totally. By the time people say that, it means the leadership has failed. And instead of going on your knees, just get them out of power. 2027 is not far.
Drain the swamp?
Drain the swamp. Get them out of power. You have make sure you have your voters card. Don't try lying to us. Oh, there are no IDs. I don't buy such a nonsense. Who has gone to get an ID and he has not gotten the ID? Go to any... Sometimes I support government on this. Let me speak for government.
Sure.
Go to any county headquarters or where IDs are issued. There will be heaps of IDs that have been there for the last 3-4 years. Nobody's collecting them. So let people not lie and hide in the fact that there are no IDs.
That there are backlogs.
And they cannot vote. If this government is rotten, is horrible, get it out of power.
Asubuhi na mapema.
Yeah, 2027 is not far. But don't go on your knees for divine intervention. God does not want fools.
There you have it. God does not want fools. We are not at a place as a country whereby the only solution is divine intervention. Those are the sentiments of Professor Herman Manyora. We hope that you've tapped into his nuggets of wisdom, and we hope you as a leader, as a Kenyan, you'll make better decisions in the near future. Until we get to do this again, probably sometime next year, do enjoy the rest of your viewing. I'm Richard Mwenja. See you.